Not every brand starts big. Many people think a product brand must begin with a large setup, high quantity, and full market launch. It is often the more practical way to understand the product, observe the market, and improve before taking bigger steps. So the real question is not how big the brand should look in the beginning, but how intelligently it should begin. Starting small gives the brand room to learn without carrying too much pressure at the beginning. It helps control investment, manage product movement, and observe how the product is accepted in real conditions. It also creates space to improve things that are difficult to notice before launch. Instead of committing too much too early, the brand gets a chance to understand what is working and what needs adjustment. That makes the next stage of growth more stable. One of the smartest decisions a new brand can make is to start with a limited quantity. Not because the business lacks confidence, but because every product needs to prove itself in the real market. A smaller first batch gives you the opportunity to observe how customers respond, how quickly the product moves, and whether any improvements are needed. If something needs to be changed, it is much easier to improve 100 bottles than 10,000. Starting with a controlled quantity is not thinking small. It is managing risk while learning from the market. Many entrepreneurs test their product in the laboratory, but the most valuable test happens after the product reaches real users. Real customers notice things that we often overlook. They may comment on the fragrance. It's fresh and sophisticated. The cleaning performance is outstanding. It really tackles tough messes. Let's talk about the packaging. It's very intuitive and easy to use, and customers would definitely buy it again. This kind of feedback cannot be fully predicted inside a production facility. That is why a controlled market test is one of the most valuable stages before expanding production. It allows the market to become your teacher. Once the product reaches customers, don't ask only one question. Did you like it? This doesn't give you the insights you need. Ask deeper questions to understand their real experience. Do they comment on the cleaning performance? Would they choose it again when they need it? Sometimes customers won't tell you what is wrong, but their actions will. Learning to observe customers is one of the most valuable skills in building a product brand. Collecting feedback is only the beginning. The real value comes from what you do with it. Sometimes the product may need a small improvement. Sometimes the fragrance feels too strong. Sometimes the bottle is difficult to hold. Sometimes the label is not immediately understood. None of these mean the product has failed. They simply show that the product is still evolving. Successful brands rarely become perfect in their first version. They improve step by step, based on real customer experience. That is how a product gradually becomes stronger in the market. It is about knowing when producing more makes sense. Many new brands expand because they feel excited after a few good sales. But excitement is not a business system. You can ask yourself a few simple questions. Are customers buying the product again? Is the feedback becoming more consistent? Can the current production quality be maintained? Do you clearly understand where your next customers will come from? If the answer to these questions is yes, then growth becomes a planned decision, not an emotional one. Scaling should happen because the business is becoming more predictable, not because the business owner becomes impatient. Many people believe that growth means producing more. But in reality, growth means repeating a successful system. If the system is not stable, producing more simply creates bigger problems. Imagine producing 10,000 bottles of a product that customers are still giving mixed feedback about, or expanding into new markets before understanding the current one. Scaling does not solve weaknesses. It multiplies them. The strongest brands usually improve their process first. Then they increase production. Growth should be the result of stability, not the search for it. Improve the product based on real feedback. Then repeat the process until the product becomes stable. Only after that, think about increasing production or adding new products. Building a brand is not a race. It is a process of learning, improving, and growing with confidence. Starting small is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean thinking small. The difference is that the strongest brands learn from each stage before moving to the next. When learning becomes part of the process, growth becomes much more sustainable. Building a product brand isn't about starting with the biggest investment. It's about making the right decisions at the right time. Every improvement you make, every customer you listen to, and every lesson you learn becomes part of the brand you're building. Start with purpose, grow with understanding, and let every step prepare you for the next one. That's how sustainable brands are built.